Hey.
Welcome back to another episode, our final episode of Boys Love, Not Me. We're recapping the finale, episode 14. I gotta take this.
You didn't even cover your nose correct.
Because it's gonna fuck up my glasses.
Well, technically, I'm being black. So technically,
I thought I was being black.
No, I said you are white.
Well, that's why I wore this. Oh. Well, first I thought when we said we were going to wear white and black, I thought we just literally meant the colors white and black.
Not the twins.
Not the twins.
Because people say we look alike.
Well, when people say like gay couples look alike, they think we're a classic example of that.
Yeah. Did the Gators give you a little bit of a Florida flashback?
Yes. Like Florida COVID?
Florida COVID.
Yeah, they do.
This ain't protecting nobody, bitch.
No, but honestly, I will say, I bet this is great in the winter.
Oh, yeah, but not. I'm never wearing this again unless it's a costume.
Oh no, this is full. This is my go-to look now. I think this is chic.
Purr. Okay, that's enough.
Well, that was enough of that. Thanks,
Adam. It was funny when he got this. He was like, "I think I should commit to the bit and watch and wear the Gators the entire episode."
No. Well, also, I think the
2
audio.
minutes.
I think the audio is going to sound bad.
Yeah.
So, we are recapping episode 14 of Not Me. I'm going to start out with a warning. If Not Me is your favorite show, and or you really like the finale, I don't know if you'll love this recap. I just want to give you a warning. If you're fine with hearing what our actual honest take about it is, great. I'm just giving you a heads up. We are, I would say, disappointed.
Yeah.
To put it mildly.
And you've been stewing on this all since we saw the episode
last
24 hours ago.
Yeah. We started the episode where we had left off with them in the elevator, having just escaped with their lives. I want to reiterate, they had just narrowly escaped with their lives. Graham and York end up going off together so he can get him downstairs. Sean and White are together.
And then Black is rogue.
It seems like his idea is like, I'm going to get all the attention
distraction.
on me.
Yes. Yeah. Which he does from the cops. The police.
The official people are after Black.
Yeah.
However, we have two people after us. We have the police and we have Towie's men.
Yeah.
There is this really fun Black karate sequence.
Yes, absolutely.
Where he takes him down.
Yeah.
And I think Gunn may have done a lot of his own stunts.
Yeah, he does. He looks way more natural in this than off when in the like fighting stunts.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because he's like smaller. I don't know. Something about it. Off gives me a little bit more like tall theater boy.
Yes.
Kind of unaware of the
sure.
limbs.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
You just got to get through the details and then we can get into the analysis.
Roll. ROL.
ROL.
Okay.
Return,
Rule of law.
Rule of law.
That's what the group name is called. I was, when I write them down, I was calling them Scoobies.
Oh, but then you're like,
it's a Buffy thing,
roll.
but
yeah.
Roll. They run outside and immediately get caught by Tetchit. Okay, so he puts bags over their heads and takes them all.
Yeah, there's a scene where they're in the back of the truck. They all have bags over their heads, but in some shots, we are under there too.
We're seeing their faces under the hood, which I think it's a hard. I didn't love it, but I understand what I was trying to go for.
I would just be staring at bags.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought a lot of that scene was really impactful.
I thought
and
so
I
too.
thought York having the realization that because they are going to disappear their bodies and not just outright kill them, it is going to destroy his mom. I thought that was really impactful, and I thought Sean trying to hold it together and White saying, if you're going to cry now.
Cry now.
Because you don't want to cry in front of them.
Because I don't want you to cry
because we've won.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I felt so.
I know. We just get through the details
I was like,
and then we'll discuss.
I was like, this is going so well.
Yeah.
It's not going well. Obviously, they're caught. But I was like, this is
payoff,
like
yes.
the payoff is
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
It's coming up. I don't know how they're gonna get out of
Yeah.
it, but it's coming.
Yeah.
They pull up. We get a quick shot of Taui in his like penthouse or at the office,
looking out, and there are people all over his
There's
building.
a protest
There's a huge
outside
protest.
the like big
Yes.
office building.
It has like erupted into like basically like a huge
yeah,
demonstration.
everyone hates Taui.
Yeah.
His poll numbers
It's a-
are way down.
He's not polling well.
No, he's not polling well. The secretary, Miss Girl, who has 2 lines, mentions that it's not just here; it's everywhere.
There's protests everywhere
Uh-huh.
in Bangkok right now.
The
And because she's like showing like what's happening, people are tweeting
people have tweeted that the vans have taken people.
There was a van that took people.
Yes, yeah, I loved that.
I
was
really
like,
like
great,
that too because I
great.
was like, power to the people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
It's going so well.
They pull up to the factory, which
And
is
there's
where
already
they had
people.
taken them.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I buy, but fine. They didn't expect there to be a protest there.
Yeah. Yeah.
The protesters are there. The protesters surround the vehicle. The driver gets out, and then
Isn't
like
able to come back, basically.
yeah. The
They get overpowered by the people.
yes, and they are freed.
They bust open the doors, they free it, they unmask them. The ROL looks shocked, but then the entire crowd is cheering their name.
Cheering
because they
their
know
name.
It's them.
They're hugging. They're
they're
crying.
crying. Yeah.
And that's the end of the
And
episode.
I wish, guys.
And that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching.
And that was the end of Not Me, and it was amazing. All of
it
the
was
things,
short, but you know what?
short but sweet.
Short but
And
sweet.
I thought, there were a lot of problems that we had along the way. It took a really long time to get here, especially the very first third of the show. But because of the payoff, I think it made sense that the people, because that was ultimately what they were trying to do, to show that the people are capable
Apparently
of
this is
creating
based on a real event.
Yeah, that's what someone said.
The protesters open
a thing and they
freeing
were
people.
freeing people. Amazing.
That's really cool.
That is really cool.
That's
They
super
were able
cool.
to do it.
I have
And-
no problem. By the way, to be clear, I don't have a problem with that idea.
No,
because
not
the
at all.
idea of the protest that they inspired freeing them.
Yes.
The metaphor is incredible.
Yeah.
The call to action's incredible.
Absolutely.
All that's great.
And
all of that works.
And actually visualizing it in the storytelling that people.
I have notes, but the idea.
But it's they're able to show that the people are actually taking them out and freeing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. At what point do we want to have this discussion? Should I get through the whole episode and then we talk about it, or what are we gonna do?
Okay. Before we say anything,
Okay.
I wish that the show. I'm not kidding. If the show had ended,
I'm not me.
I'm not me. I'm me. If the show had literally ended right here and then leapt to the epilogue part where it's 3 weeks later, you're finding out that they were still arrested, but now they're out. Their bail was paid out.
Oh, I disagree.
If they insist on doing this, pay what happens after? If it's I would have liked then moving directly to an epilogue. I think way farther than 3 weeks. I think further out to kind of show that it's still
a year
happening.
later.
It's still happening. There were effects. This happened to Taui. This happened to Todd. Blah 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 blah. We finally get the true reunion of Black and White finally coming together in some capacity because White never sees Black again after this event. That I was like, okay, that is proving to me that the fight still marches on. This was a small victory, but people at least are inspired to continue to do better, which is what they were trying to do this whole show. That I was like, that would have been great. I would have been satisfied with that. If they really wanted to keep what they did in the show, if they shot everything if it was me at the cutting room floor, I would be like, cut that middle part, just jump to the epilogue.
I want to reiterate where we had just had our characters. Okay?
Fighting for
they
their
were
lives.
contemplating their own mortality because they thought they were going, to die.
Disappear. They were going to just throw them in the ocean, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cement shoes.
They come out of the van. And we immediately jump to a scene where Namo's like, I knew it was you guys the whole time. Anyway, I hope you're okay.
Are you sure you're okay?
And then Yoka's like, do you think art can like change people or whatever? And she's like, I mean, listen, it helped me get over
a boy.
It helped me get over Sean. What do you mean? Namo, I mean this with all sincerity. Lovely girl, sweetheart.
Yeah.
I don't care about your plot line with Sean. And to have this be the first interaction after the near-death experience that we just had.
From all of the main characters.
The crazy the highest tension you can possibly get. There are no higher stakes. There are literally no higher stakes in narrative writing than
you
death.
dying. Than death.
Death is the ultimate stake.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
To go from that to this casual, like, do you really think art can do anything?
Do you want to go to the ambulance? Are you sure you're okay? You sure you're okay, Yuck?
He like sits down and she's like working on a banner.
And
I don't know.
Oh, there you are.
And she's like, I knew it was you guys the whole time.
If you watch the reaction, you can see Adam fully, like, the eyes change. And it's like, they let this whimper out.
I don't understand. I understand the cool idea of using the real life inspiration.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Of
that scene was great. I mean, it was good. It was a good scene.
It needed to be a longer sequence.
Yep.
It needed to have higher tension and a slower release.
Yes.
It needed to be like...
They needed to shake the van.
Like
they needed to...
Yes.
They needed to...
Flip the van.
Pull Tetchet out.
I needed to see like physical... I needed to have... I think genuinely a part of it is that the protester... It just felt like they were like...
Hey.
Hold on. I need a prop. Hey. Get out of there. Hey. Boo, 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 boo. And then, like...
none of them
boys
screaming.
Don't say
They're
anything.
Just sitting, like...
If you are kidnapped... Can I be so clear? If you're kidnapped in the back of a van and there are people surrounding the van, you would be like, get us the fuck out of here, screaming. They sit in silence.
We're in here. In a dull, dark...
Tetchet is like looking around like... This guy who's our villain, our guy who's held guns to people's head is suddenly like, Jesus, I don't know what to do. Boy, oh boy, I wasn't expecting 12 and a half people to show up. And then they just slowly, ever so slowly, open the doors. There's not like a wrenching of the doors. There's no like action to pull them open. I want to see these doors flying off their fucking hinges.
Yes.
I don't care. This is what really bothers me. I understand people were explaining like this is based on a real event, and I think that's so cool.
Yeah. This is still a TV show.
You still have to ratchet it up. I'm not watching a documentary. I'm simply not.
You still have to perform.
It still has to be bigger than life.
You still have to direct.
It has to match the stakes that we were just in. We were in life or death. And we are now watching them be like, knock, 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 knock. Oh, open the door. And then just like, here, take my hand. And there's a step. There's a step. There's a step.
Hey, open that. Take that off. You're done.
You're done. It's over.
You're done. It's over.
And the fact that it's like, it's over is also just like, so then it's just done. We're in the middle of...
We're in the middle of an uprising.
And I genuinely, this is the energy for the rest of the episode. Is just this weird, like...
It's done. We did it.
That's the thing. Is the show so clearly is trying to be like,
It's never done.
It's never
You
done.
keep fighting.
You have to keep fighting, which I think is very commendable that the show is
Yes.
really trying to do that. But I think it shoots itself in the own foot because then there are no consequences for anything
Yeah.
after this. Like, we have gotten to the end of the show. Narratively, you have to set consequences for these people. I understand that the point
the heroes,
the point
Yeah.
is that there is constant protesting that needs to
Yeah.
happen. I understand that is your
You-
vision
you
for the
spent
show.
13 episodes proving that.
It's so clear. I need to see someone go to jail. I need to see someone get like punched in, and you know who
And
I
I
don't
don't
need to
need
see?
Todd
I don't
in a
need
coma.
I don't need to see Dan get punched in the face. Like,
oh yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
The thing we hear about Tawi, by the way, I thought this whole show was leading up to Tawi
Tawi
dying.
being crucified. Like
Okay,
truly.
not crucified, but
Well,
like, yeah.
in a public
Yes.
shaming,
Yes.
something happens.
We hear a news report that the board of directors is asking him to step down. Are you And I understand that is real life. I get it. These people do not face consequences the way regular people do. That is the point. That is absolutely the point. And I understand that. But as a viewer of a television show, I am not watching this for realism and naturalism. I simply am not. I am watching it to feel like I am with these characters. We're on a journey together.
Yeah.
We have gone through hell. Yeah. These characters have gone through hell.
Literally,
and the
been
only
kidnapped.
thing it would be one thing to even have a scene where Tawi is like dressed down by like someone and just anyone. There's like a public hearing at the Senate or whatever, and he's getting scolded.
He's being scolded.
Even that, which is so little for someone who's doing criminal things this big, would be so at least something.
Him walking out the next morning, or him walking out of a courtroom.
Someone spitting on him.
Something.
Just anything other than a slight news report that if you aren't paying attention to, you wouldn't even notice.
It's just being said in the background.
We don't even see Techit go to jail. Techit literally, say Techit gets arrested.
Yeah.
We don't see that. But then that's the other problem is they've set up that the police are also, so it's like you, as an audience member, you're also not supposed to be like, well, he went to jail because like the police system is corrupt. But like, then you have written yourself into a hole.
You wrote yourself into a hole.
Because you made it's one thing to be like, everything's not black and white, right? That's the point of the show. Everything is so murky. Everything is so gray. But then you made it so gray that you can't even like have a resolution.
Yes.
Because the resolution is that there is no resolution. But honestly, that is not a satisfying conclusion. And I understand that what this show is trying to do, and I really commend it for all the things that it's really attempting to do. And I'm so impressed that they like
got away with it.
This and tried to do it and da. But I cannot abide this conversation of being like, well, they were really trying to do this thing. Narratively, it does not work. Narratively, this is bad. Like, this ending is garbage. And I know you can do better because I just watched episodes 7 through 13, which had some of the greatest writing I think I've seen in BL.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how we get to episode 14 and then we're like, oh, well, now we just have to do a regular fucking ending of a BL.
Yeah, just wrap up everyone's story.
The whole thing that was interesting about the show is that it doesn't feel like every other BL.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like the writers were nervous. I don't know if GMM was like, we can't do anything super crazy. We have to still keep the couples. I don't care. I don't mind that Shaun White get the ending. Of course they should.
Of course.
It's a romance.
Yeah, it's the show. But it's so funny. Like we gotta calm down. We started watching the show and be like, where's the BL? Where's the BL? And then they showed that this is not your typical BL. Like you said, in episode 7 to 13, they're really doing insane character work on Shaun, really showing how someone who has been beat down by society and everything that's given to him.
It's incredible. It's incredible
to find love again, and then not try and challenge themselves to like really sit down and be like, let's come up with it. Because I've read people commenting like the writer really wanted to do an ending where everyone dies except for Black.
I don't think that would. I don't think I would have liked that.
I don't think I would have liked that either. But you have.
It would have been a stronger choice though.
You have You have the time, the resources, the money to sit down and figure out an ending. I'm sorry, 14 episodes. You can sit down and figure this out.
I think genuinely, I think I would have been, if everyone had died, I think I would have been very upset.
Yeah.
Obviously. That's why they didn't go with that option. But at least I would have been like, they made a choice.
They made a choice.
This finale feels like there's not a single choice that was made.
It was like a full cop-out.
A full cop-out. And it's not even that I'm like that every character lives.
Yeah, of course.
Here are my actual edits narrative wise.
Yeah.
I don't think Dan needed to come back at all.
No.
And it's not because I think like he doesn't have a redemption.
Deserve it.
It's been 3 weeks. Or maybe it's been longer because the gallery's finished now.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it doesn't feel like enough time has passed for that to be a satisfying thing. Yeah. And it could have the thing about Dan, the thing about that storyline that's so heart-wrenching and why it's so impactful is that he is in the system and is still a victim of the system.
Yes.
That is why that narrative works so well. And when he can't escape it, you're like, damn, the whole thing is fucked. It's not just like the people on the outside are fucked.
Yeah.
The people on the inside are fucked too. Everyone is fucked. Yeah. That is the whole point, and that's why it's so brilliant that they gave it to Yok, who is this like more of the like optimist character or like whatever. He doesn't need to come back. He doesn't need to come back
to apologize.
We know Yok he apologized. Ever forgive him? I'm sorry. He
almost died.
In what world?
He almost got killed.
And also. And then what? He's going to bring him around and be like, hey, Sean, remember Dan? We're dating. In what world? It's simply in what world?
We need to take a break. We need to calm down.
I'm not even going.
No, I don't think there's no point. There's no point. Okay, let's take a break.
The rest of the episode is just fluff.
Yeah. Let's take a break. Feeling better.
The other thing I didn't like is the Black thing.
Okay. So Black comes back in this epilogue, right? It's 3 weeks later. First of all, 3 weeks? Then what's the fucking point of skipping everything?
3 weeks is genuinely not.
Nothing.
It's genuine.
3 weeks just for a news reporter to be like, this happened,
in a show that already doesn't care about timelines in any way whatsoever. The fact that they called it out as 3 weeks, I was like, oh, so now we care. Now's the point where we're gonna care about the timeline.
Anyway, Black comes back because White does this thing in the middle part.
Black should have literally left.
Yeah.
Black should have left and been gone for years. And we go like 5 years in the future and they're married and they're living together because we've passed gay rights, because we've passed marriage equality.
Yes,
they're married, living together, and then he shows up at the door and he's a changed person. He's soul-searched. He did whatever he had to do to realize that like he's dark as hell on the inside. Yeah. And he like is like, I've missed you so much. I'm ready to like be your brother again. That could have been something.
Yeah. A strong choice. At least giving a payoff to what you've been trying to connect. But he comes back with like, I beat up Todd and we're going to keep doing this. Keep doing what, Diva? He's just like, we're just going to keep fighting. Fighting who? Fighting what? You just threw away the villain. So you haven't like built up the.
As I'm thinking about it, I think the most upsetting thing is that they did so much work in the show to genuinely be like, this fight never ends. And it's clear. You cannot watch episodes 1 to 13 of the show and not realize that the point is there's no end to this. Right? Do you agree?
Yeah.
Do you agree?
And then to end it.
And then but then like,
to this
still
one thing.
In episode 14, which is the one where I'm sorry, you have to wrap things up. You have to give a satisfying conclusion if you want the audience to feel like satisfied. And maybe it's anti-narrative. Maybe it's genuinely that they're like, you shouldn't feel satisfied because there is no satisfaction. But then I don't.
But they don't do that. That's not the intent of this.
But the show is still very hopeful. It is a hopeful show that looks toward the future.
Yes, they wouldn't
so I don't think that is what they're trying to do either.
Yeah.
I'm so mad. I'm so sorry. Let me calm down.
I think
it is a shame that they still felt like they had to condescend to the audience and not trust that the audience understood that theme of the first 13 episodes
that you keep
and it
fighting.
still exists while still giving a conclusion.
Yes.
No
You can do
one
both.
out here thinks that just because we protest means that Elon Musk is going to go to jail tomorrow. Like, no one believes that. No one's that stupid.
Yeah.
But I want to see something happen to these fictional characters because I want something that's going to inspire me to be like,
to know that like that's
could
something.
happen. Can I say this? If I was the person who was like really getting inspired to like protest and really getting inspired to be an activist from this show and watching the show in real time, it's 2021 and I'm like,
yes,
there's
that's
fights
the thing.
we need to
yes,
have.
There are elements in this that remind me a lot of Black Lives Matter, like coming out.
Totally.
Absolutely.
And if I was watching the show and then this ending happens, I would be like, I would feel the opposite of hope. I do not know how you see this ending and you get the idea that any of it mattered. Other than they were freed. That's the only thing is that because they started this
release
protest,
of the tension. Yeah.
They were able to like escape death.
Yes.
But like nothing happens.
Nothing happens afterwards that are like the acknowledgement was so like nothing. They were like, we did it. But no actionable thing that feels like what they did was worth it and that they survived.
I'm just so mad because I spent episodes 1 through 6 being like, this is so slow and so uneven. And I'm really trying to like, there are people in our fucking Patreon and on YouTube saying, no, I swear it's worth it. I swear it's worth it. First of all, fuck a show that makes you wait halfway through it in order for it to get good. I'm sorry. That is
you cannot take
that's
half of the
insane
show.
To me. That's crazy. But I was willing because once episode 6 and 7 happened and then we were like getting into it, I was like, okay,
I'm seeing
we're
it.
moving.
I'm
We're moving. The growth
it.
is happening. They definitely could have started it earlier, but it's fine.
Maybe
I would rather
or
have
cut 3 episodes.
Maybe I'd rather have there be,
12. Like
I would rather have there be a good ending, a good solid halfway through we got to a really good ending and it ratcheted up to the end.
Yep.
Versus what normally happens, which is like great beginning, great setup, and
they
then
don't know
it
how
just
to
falls
end it.
apart.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'd rather have that, but then. And I think like episode 13, the scene in the hallway
in the wheelchair
is like
absolutely, it's great.
I will think about that probably for the rest of my life.
When we watched it, it was so gripping.
To then follow it up with this is crazy to me. Like it's just like genuine.
I know.
I'm so sad.
It's such a bummer.
I'm so disappointed.
It feels like, honestly, it really feels like,
and it's not even a. There's not even a.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like such a shame to the performers.
Yes, and I think do a great job in this episode
because they worked really hard in the last couple of episodes to like prove, and they're carrying it
completely.
They're carrying the nuance that like this is just one fight, and it feels like this is the last fight, but knowing that like this is just another fight. Like, they get it. The actors, they're performing like they understand that.
That Dan Yawk scene at the end that I don't think needed to happen.
The punch.
With that whole sequence.
Yeah. Was
like, I could feel the love. I could feel the hurt. I could feel the betrayal. Like, the acting in that scene.
Yeah. The wheelchair? The wheelchair?
No. In this one, in episode 14, with the punch, in the art gallery.
Oh, in the art gallery. Yes, yeah.
That whole scene.
Just like staring at each other. Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Told incredibly well through these accomplished actors, right? Like I was like, wow, I don't like what they're doing with this,
but they're selling me because they're.
But I was like, this performance is so good.
Yeah.
So it's genuinely, there is not a single performance in this entire episode where I was like, well, that fell off.
Yeah.
The writing, I'm so mad about. I'm so mad about it.
I know.
I'm so upset.
And I know I in the comments, people were like, the writing and the directing, there was a clash. You can't put that on film.
And I'm
sorry, if your writer and director can't figure it out and you're doing your best, then don't do it or do something else.
The thing that
waste the whole show.
The
Well,
thing that
because you
interests
couldn't
us
figure it
about
out.
why we started making this fucking podcast
Uh-huh.
was because we just want to talk about narratives, narrative structures, character development. We want to talk about the actual like
Yeah.
art critique of it, right?
Yeah. NBL. Yeah.
In BL specifically,
NBL
right?
specifically, a genre that is like,
No one thinks about his art.
yes. Yeah.
Not a soul. Everybody thinks it's just capitalism fluff.
Yeah.
Is that? But it's also.
But there's value.
There's artistic
Yeah.
value in it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
artistic merit.
Yeah.
That is what is interesting to me.
Yeah.
I am so impressed that they tried to get this show made, that they got this show made, that this was happening concurrently, that they were
The anime boy sodas, like bought
the
in.
thoughts that they're trying to express to the
Yes.
viewers
that has never been said before on a show or whatever. Like,
right. This
for
feels
some of-
singular in its vision.
I could feel that the audience probably were hearing some of these things like being told
Yes.
to them for the first
Yes.
time of like, oh yes.
Was it clunky? Absolutely.
Absolutely,
But
but
I was
you
like,
know
you know
what?
what?
I will
I'm not
forgive
a
it
I'm
for
not a
the
17-year-old Thai teenager in 2001
Yeah.
who was hearing some of this for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay? Great. That's fine. All of that. I for me, that is not enough. The idea is not enough for me to be like, so then the show is good. I'm sorry. And if
Yeah.
that's you, bless you.
Yeah.
But then I would feel that just because it's politics that I like, politics that I agree with, makes the art good, that is no different than like mommy blogger number 12 saying that the Christian movie that came out from like Jesus Saves Studios,
Yeah.
that is the worst thing you've ever seen because they can't make good movies,
Yeah.
is like incredible. There's no difference to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to shit on anyone who
Yeah.
likes this. I think there is a lot to like
Yes.
in the whole thing.
Yeah.
I felt so let down because by episode 13, I was like trusting
I gave them my
that they
trust
knew
that
what they were
knew
doing.
That they're going to give me a really good ending that will satisfy narratively
Mm-hmm.
and also the point that they're trying to prove. I genuinely don't even think they proved the point. They didn't give the point that they were trying to prove a good ending.
The only person who gets an actual comeuppance, the only character in this whole
Todd.
show is Todd, who is in
A
6
coma?
of these episodes
Yeah.
in the entire show.
Yeah.
And we never even see him
Get beat up.
What's crazy is that we never even flash back to like Todd orchestrating the black beat up that initiated the show.
the whole thing,
We
which
just
I thought
see
we were
him
gonna
like
get.
we see him like at the first episode we see him like and then like go down and then that's it. I was waiting for at some point it to be like Black
We see how
flashes
Black-
back and sees like how Todd
How
said
it
and
happened.
everything.
Yeah.
Nope, we just see a lot of conversation.
It's a lot of talking.
There's
in
a
this-
lot of talking.
in this show.
And that's fine because I like plays, so it's fine.
Yeah.
For me. But you can, if you were to watch just this finale, you would say to yourself as a regular person, "Oh, well, Todd had to be the big villain of the show.
Yeah.
Todd had to be the huge baddie that they were all trying to fight against." Because he gets the worst deal.
Mm-hmm.
He gets put into a coma.
Yeah.
Because Black beat the ever-loving shit out of him.
Uh-huh.
My friend, you would be so gravely mistaken if you thought that. He's like peon number 3. I think Tetchit is worse than Todd.
Yeah, because he's visualizing the actual evil. He's enacting it.
And also, I think the Dan storyline is so interesting because he kills Sean's
kills
father,
Sean's dad.
and he's
Yes.
guilt-ridden over
Yes.
it, right? It's clawing at him.
Yeah.
He has become depressed. He is a shell of himself.
Yeah.
Right? There is a before he did that act, and there
And
is
then
an
after.
after,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
He is not the same person he
Yeah.
used to be. It is very clear. This character killed another character's our hero of the show off, playing Sean.
Mm-hmm.
He killed his father, our hero.
Yeah.
And he still gets to have a good ending, but he gets a pun. I'm sorry. Like, this is why I was sad. I was, of course, devastated by the Dan Yawk thing last episode.
Yeah, the Dan
because
betrayal.
The Yawk grief over the betrayal is so intense.
Yeah.
But I was like, that had to happen because he is a morally corrupt. He killed someone.
Yeah.
He killed our hero's father.
Yeah.
I was ready to never see Dan again.
Yeah.
Not because I don't think Yawk deserves love, but because
That was the payoff.
That was what happened.
Yeah.
He is now, he's part of this. He's just as corrupt. I don't need to know I don't need to know that he quit. I don't need to know that he stayed in his job. I don't need to know that he got fired. I don't need to know anything. I just need to know.
He got his own comeuppance. That was his comeuppance. He couldn't be in love with
couldn't
Yawk.
be, yes,
he couldn't
it
be with
couldn't
Yawk.
work out.
It couldn't be with, yeah.
And then you just like, well, they have to end up together. Like, that was the most BL fucking ending. And I was like, and it wasn't because they like, he punches
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
But in the idea of like, well, they have to end up together. I'm like,
no, you don't. You just proved.
They don't. And they weren't even like an official couple. Like, it's what.
You proved in the show that it doesn't have to, we don't have to follow the same things that we
This
see
is the
in
Nick
other
Boston.
shows.
It should have been the Nick Boston. Like, they didn't end up, they don't end up together.
Yeah.
And because they're not an official sanctioned couple, you don't have to have them end up together. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's of course devastating, and we love Yawk. And if you want to give Yawk one last scene where there's a guy at the gallery who's like, your art's really incredible, I'd love like something, anything to like spark something
to show that like I'm still able to move past this.
And
I can find love.
Like,
again.
I love that he like made. I thought that fucking painting that
painting
he ends
looks
up
great,
doing is incredible.
Yeah.
I thought that was like so visually striking. And if there was a way, like in my mind.
Him creating that painting was him moving on.
We needed to have a scene of him looking up at the painting. I like the he touches
touching
his leg, and then he turns around and walks away, and that he's fully left Dan behind.
Yes, that
is the satisfying ending because Yawk has to move on from this.
That's what it was supposed to be. And you know what? If you wanted to do that little scene of Dan seeing his own painting and realizing like, wow, look. He could have also done that and then also walked away, realizing that like I've done this to this person.
Shaun White have like two scenes in this, and neither of them are interesting conversations.
Both Shaun and White scenes are duds. They're regurgitating things that they've already confessed to each other.
We should have saved some of those conversations for the end. We should have saved the like, what do we do now?
Yeah.
Because I think that's a very interesting idea to be like, we beat Towie or whatever, which I don't even know. Did they? Whatever. We beat Towie.
Why did they give them in episode 12 and 13?
So then in the tent that night, have Shaun be like, what do we do?
Horny.
And I hated that. But like, what do
now
we
I
do
can just
now?
love you
and
or
White
whatever.
say like, we keep going, but this time we're together forever.
Yes.
Like we're together fighting side by side. That scene they had last week is what they needed this week. I would have like come out of my skin because it would have been Shaun once it's over having the realization of it's over.
The
thing
alone.
I've been working toward this whole time.
I can do it with someone. I'm not alone in the world anymore.
Right.
And we can both do more good because we're working together.
There's not even acknowledgement of like his dad was killed extrajudiciously. Yeah. They acknowledge that like in the thing they say like Todd was smuggling drugs and that was the whole thing and it was very upsetting. Not Todd, I'm sorry, Towie.
Yeah.
But there's no like, and then we've gone back and like, even just an acknowledgement of like, we realized that the driver was like coerced, just something to be like, well, at least Shaun can sleep better.
Yeah.
And I get that that's not how the world works, but I am not watching this show to look outside. Oh, sorry. To look outside my window. I'm not doing that. I can just turn on the TV.
I can just turn on the news right now and see that it's happening.
I am not saying you needed to have a scene where Towie gets like shot by 40 people all at once. He doesn't need a Julius Caesar stabbing scene in the Senate, right? I understand.
I just need one scene.
I just need anything. The only thing we get with him is like
VO.
No, we don't even
from the news reporter.
Right, but I mean like with him specifically, the actor, he just shoots the like he's looking down at the protest.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they shot with him in this.
Yeah, and he's like,
we don't even get a reaction shot of like, oh, it's all going to shit for me.
Well, that's the thing. I wish the news report had like a scene of like him like leaving the office,
Not
being
anything.
told that he was fired.
Anything.
So then like and then an egg gets thrown at him or something.
Somebody throws a shoe
Yeah.
at President Bush in Afghanistan.
Literally.
Anything.
Literally.
Just anything.
But that's the thing. But that is the thing when it's like, but that's not realistic. That literally happened.
That literally happened.
Right?
And it doesn't need to be a full thing for the audience to still feel it. You just have to have, after going through all this, watching your characters go through this unjustly, you just want your characters to go, you just want to be like, yes.
Yes.
That's all you need. I don't need it to be a Quentin Tarantino film. It doesn't need to turn into Kill Bill. It does not have to be, no. Right? That's not genuinely, nobody needs that.
Yeah.
We just want one thing so we can be like, at least there was some justice enacted.
Yeah.
At least there was something that happened to these awful characters. And I'm sorry, a news report, a gorgeous little anchor woman explaining what happened in a one-off sentence does not suffice. And I understand that that's the real world, but baby, this isn't the real world. You are crafting a television show from scratch. You are creating every single thing that we see on screen.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do something with it.
So do something.
Do something with the 14 hours you.
And if you needed more budget, then you needed to not do those parkour scenes in the earlier episodes, and you definitely didn't need to do a parkour scene for the last 3 minutes of this show.
Ooh, steam heat, bitch.
Graham and Nuke have such crazy chemistry that I can't believe they just squandered it.
Graham and Nuke, literally that Nuke scene at the end where she's like, "Yeah, I knew it was you all along."
But can I say this about that fucking Nuke scene too? That Nuke scene felt like a lawyer being like, you have to reiterate to these people that what they did was wrong.
Yeah.
Because she scolds him.
Scolds him.
This man just almost died.
Yeah.
He doesn't need scold.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to scold him.
Yeah.
She's like, you could be sued for this. You could go to jail for this. No, yeah, we almost just died. It's actually worse, girl. We actually could have been killed.
Yeah.
2 minutes ago, we were
That's
in a truck.
why I literally am skipping that entire scene from when they are freed to the epilogue because I'm
For sure that scene like after they get out of the van is like genuinely the worst like 10 minutes of the show. Probably in the entirety of the show. The Graham and Eugene thing, I don't listen.
We already got there. We already got it. They already confessed their love to each other.
That already happened.
And then they do a montage of all of the moments. I'm like, no, we already got it.
We saw it.
We saw it.
Diva Boots.
Why are you wasting
We saw Diva Boots.
10, 15 minutes of this episode?
There's so much telling, not showing.
So much.
The fucking, when she goes, oh yeah, I just met White. Just have us see her meet White. And have White be like, I'm sorry I lied. This is the finale. This is where you resolve them. This is where you resolve the things that need resolved.
Yeah.
She didn't know White existed. And so he says, I'm so sorry. I hope you're okay. And then she looks over and sees Graham and she realizes he's been by me the whole time. She goes up to him and she initiates it.
She initiates it and she's like,
because like the other thing is like Graham initiates this just like he's initiated everything. Other conversation between them in the show.
Yeah.
Change it for the last time. Have her be like, you were right there all along and I'm ready.
Yeah.
And fine. Are they my favorite couple in the show?
No.
Definitely not.
But at least you
gave us something.
Yeah.
Okay. That was them. Black leaving and then coming back 3 weeks later. I mean, that's just like, we went to the Philippines for 3 weeks. Like, that's just a trip. That's just a vacation.
He just went on a trip.
And he should have been gone. He should have been gone, and maybe the last scene. Honestly, the last scene of the show should have been him coming back.
Shot
because it's not Black and White coming back together.
Yes, because it would have been so cool to see
because
that like the
Sean and White are already together.
So we didn't need to reiterate that they are together. Show that Black and White are the lost love that needs to reconnect.
Correct.
That's what you were showing us in the past 13 episodes. Did you watch the show, Tamar?
The hashtag is not me, not you, but everyone. That's where the show's name came from. I did write that down. Yawk's mom got a new job.
Yes,
she works in a juice bar.
Yeah. She works at Jamba.
Oh, here's another one.
Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Here's another one. Gumpa has a line that has the audacity to say "my generation." This man should not have played this character. You have to be joking. This whole time I was like, well, maybe they're really not doing like a generational divide. Like I'm just reading it that way and that's not intended.
No, the Gumpa's supposed to be like 50.
40, 50.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Do you think I'm blind? Do you think I cannot see? I understand that he has a bad haircut, but
that doesn't
nowhere on earth do I believe that this man is anything over 27 years old.
Generation.
Are you fucking kidding? How stupid do you think your audience is? Like, genuinely. It was like so disrespectful.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the show.
That's it. I don't have anything else to say about that. Finale.
Despite this finale, where would you put it in your tier list?
I ain't reading all that.
Sorry for your loss, or congratulations.
Yeah. This is genuinely not how I would have ranked this last week. Last week I still probably just would have said complicated fave.
I would have put this in a complicated fave at the end of episode 13 because I was like, they're really ramping up to a group to prove me wrong.
Yep.
That I was like, maybe it's complicated because it is uneven. Because it is. It really is uneven. 6 episodes. Asking me to hang on for 6 episodes.
6 hours. I'm sorry. No, that's...
I would have dropped... If I was watching this live, I would have dropped it. Genuinely.
No, I can't believe that people stuck with it for those first 6 episodes. I mean, there's so little that happens in those first 6 episodes.
I would be just like checking on Twitter, like, what happened?
Yeah.
Checking clips.
Once they get to that pride flag is when the show picks up. I think you could like recommend the show and be like, just start at episode 7. I think it's pretty clear what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't think it's confusing.
They're twins. They're twins.
The twins, one's in a coma. He's taking his life to figure out who put him in his coma.
Yeah.
There you go.
I would have put it in a complicated fave, but yeah, I think you're right.
I would have done episode 6 because I think you do need
the
choke out.
Yeah.
You need the choke out.
Okay.
That's where I would have put it.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Start at episode 6.
But it's really, guys, I mean, it's very clear. I was very upset by this just because I really had, by episode 13, been like, oh, I really trust them. I really trust that they know what they're doing now. So that was a bummer.
The Matrix.
Oh, God.
I guess
character-driven, for sure.
Character-driven. It is the more interesting.
And it's not for, I would say it's for gays.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think it's for the straights.
No.
I mean, I don't think it's not for the straights.
Yeah.
I think it's like a little bit over on the gay side.
Yeah. I agree.
Who's your MVP? Who's your MVP of the episode? Who's your MVP of the show?
Both are first.
I was going to say Dan is my MVP for the episode, which is crazy because I don't even think he should have had a scene. But
yeah,
I could watch that man cry.
I know.
There's something about the way Dan cry, the way Gowan's eyes are just like, they're just puppy dog eyes. They're just like the saddest.
They well up so well.
They well up so good.
And I think First does too, because First has
totally
round eyes.
Yes.
Like really round
saucers.
Eyes. Yes.
Yeah.
But I was blown away by First in this show.
Mine is off 100%. Off is a revelation in the show. Off is what people like hope that
this is a role that they can do.
Yes.
I used to think that like, oh, the role is black and white because what an awesome opportunity to play 2 characters.
And Gunn is so good.
And Gunn is really good at it. But I really think
I really believe he's 2 different people. It's actually crazy.
Yeah, it's scary.
It's really weird.
But the off performance of like a perfect hero's rise. Literally perfect.
It's too good.
It's so good.
It's too good.
It's so good. But I think I'm still going to give it to First because I didn't expect there to have a character that's kind of like the innocent ingenue that like gets like falls in love and then like suffers from it, but like still is holding on. I didn't expect it to be first, which because all I've seen him is in Only Friends, where he had a little bit more, just a little bit more like rough and tumble with it. Like even though he's rough and tumble here too, he's the most ingenue out of all of them.
Yeah.
Graham has his ingenue moments, but they're so privately just to Eugene.
Yeah, I mean Graham Eugene it's fine. It's just like it's so stock.
Yeah.
Like it's just like guy
Yeah, it's like I've been the friend. I've been the friend that's been in love with you the entire time.
Yeah, and it's very sweet.
Yeah.
And I think it's played really well. And
yes,
I really
they're
like
performed really well.
Yeah, I think that they're both such sweet actors.
And the chemistry is that like when they are
totally
close.
I genuinely have no problem with Graham Eugene.
No.
I really it doesn't bother me that it doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me. And I think Shaun White is obviously great. Like when you finally get into it, it's like, oh,
yes.
Do I listen? I had my whole speech about being like, I need them to do something because I am falling off the train.
Yeah.
And then they did everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, great.
Then I'm in.
And then
you're right. At the end of the thing, the true love that is lost that needs to be healed is Black and White.
Yeah.
And so I was convinced that Black was going to sacrifice himself and that he is going to be the one that because there needs to be someone that has to pay the price from their side.
The Tony Stark. Yeah.
And it didn't happen. So yeah, I wish the Black and White reunion at the end was just
I wish that had been
stakes.
the last thing.
I think so too.
Because that's what starts the show is they're
is
pulling
him
apart.
Yes.
And the last part should be them coming back together.
Yeah. It's the Anna Elsa. They're the real love story.
Yeah. Yeah.
That should be what it is.
Because also we already got Shaun and White. Like
they're
we
already
already
in
knew
love. They're
they
already
were
together.
There was no will they won't they. They were together like 4 episodes. They were together like weeks ago.
Yeah.
Not that I think those scenes are fine.
I know.
Like
yeah,
I wasn't mad at those scenes. They just don't.
They don't add anything.
They don't add
because
anything. We've already seen
this. You've already done this. You're just regurgitating the same scene for the last episode. I think they could have done this in 12. I don't know if the ending feels like because we have 14 episodes, because we have this extra time, then we just make it fluffy. I almost wish they had the pressure of like, there is a short amount of episodes, so we have to make bold choices. Like they get inspired.
I think it like would have ended up being like, and then they're martyred basically. And then like, and that also would have been interesting. I think I would have believed it even less than this though, because like, and also I think thematically that the show is trying to be like, there is no leader of the revolution.
Yes,
it
exactly.
is that they all have to do it together.
All have to do it together.
It is but everyone.
Yes, yeah.
That is the point.
Hashtag.
So if they had killed them and then that had been the route they gone with, I would have been like, well, because I was like, I liked that when they got out of the van, there was like a celebration of them just for a moment, and it was them clutching each other. It wasn't everyone lifting them up.
Yes,
and
that
doing
they're
all
the
thing.
leaders of the revolution.
No, because they're not.
They're not.
And then they just like became the rest of the they just went into the. I liked that.
Yeah.
I like all the ideas. I really like the ideas.
But I can't. You still have to execute them well.
But you just have to do something. I mean, you can't just be like, and here's the idea, diva.
Yeah.
No, I know. Keep going.
Keep going, yeah.
It's not just a one draft situation. This is a television show we're making.
It feels like they got the one draft and like, okay, that's it. Yeah, that's the best we can do. No, it's not.
It's truly not. I know you're so I just watched episode 7 through 13.
I watched you do really creative work.
I know you can. I just saw it happen.
Yeah, I just saw it happen.
And now I'm like, maybe it was a lie. Maybe I deluded myself because I was having a fever dream after 14 weeks of this. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe, no, I think episodes 7 through 13 specifically are great. I think they are so good. I think they're incredibly strong.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what is so frustrating about this.
Yeah.
That is just... I'm just so sad.
I know.
Because I really wanted to come out of this and be like,
You were right.
you were right. This is one of the Pantheon greats.
I think this show proves that you can do something with this genre. I think this show proves that you can show different things in the genre, in the format that people are used to, and you can subvert that in order to do some really amazing things with sending a message, inciting like activism. I really think you can do it.
Oh, totally.
This didn't need it to be perfect. I understand that. Like,
but that's the thing is, like, BL is just romance. Like, it's just a romance
genre.
Romance genre has every single narrative under the sun.
Yeah.
It is like the biggest money making market of books.
Fiction, of books. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It makes more than God.
Yes.
It makes so much money
For years too.
It's not like it happened yesterday.
No.
So like I like BL moving into spaces that are like where
creative,
we're trying different things.
Yes.
Because that's the beauty of romance is that it's just the central love story and then you get to do whatever you want with the rest.
Yeah.
You get to do the whole thing however you want it as long as you just have two characters that have great chemistry and really like each other.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's all your audience wants. That's all they expect.
Yeah.
And then you can just have fun with the rest.
So and
they did that. They had Shaun and White.
And so that's why I think this show did prove. I think it feels like this show helped pave the way to be able to do this with the genre for future shows.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's internal character work like Itse, whether it's like a sweeping romance like last Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand that this show became something that proved that like this can happen. Even though it wasn't perfect, it rocked the boat enough to show that like you can do something with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we have to leave it.
I think that's where I understand that. And I respect that and I see that a lot. I don't think this was executed well, but I understand the impact that it made. I think that's the point of criticism is that you can see both ways.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What are our options for the vote next week?
So we're moving on.
We're moving
on to the next one. We have two BLs.
We together.
Because Adam doesn't like.
But everyone.
Yes, not me, not you, but everyone.
Not me, not you, but everyone.
Yes,
has chosen together.
We have chosen together, so that way it is not an Adam pick and an RJ pick anymore. We had it for one vote, guys. Mm-hmm. It is between the Korean BL Secret Relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Versus the Thai BL Gel Boys.
Battle.
Secret Relationships versus Gel Boys. These two BLs have rocked like the world,
discourse.
The discourse on its run.
Uh-huh.
And we would like to see it.
Yeah.
I think let's, see what the hubbub is all about.
Join us at patreon.com/boysloveboyslove. If you join at the Bow level, you can watch all of our reactions to Not Me. You can watch how angry I was in real time for that finale. We are also recapping on the channel currently. We are recapping Universe League from 2024, so you can find those reactions as well. And at the Bob level, we are just reacting to Kin Porsche, and my God, am I thrilled that we are not doing recaps for that. Woo! You want to talk about discourse?
Oh boy!
You want to talk about it? But this coming week on Monday, we'll be dropping the vote for the Bows and the Bobs, so that they can vote between Gel Boys and Secret Relationships, and then we will be starting that the following week.
Yep.
So it's all very exciting, and it's coming up quick. And that's it. And if you just want K-pop stuff, that's at the
It's
at the beret level.
Join the berets if you're just here for a good old K-pop time. We're watching Variety over there. So, not me.
Not you. Bitter.
But Bitterant. I'm shocked Bitterant didn't come back. We had such a great time with the Bitterant.
Bitterant. How do you get the Bitterant?
It was the Bitterant.
Maybe the Bitterant was like Towie's boss.
Who the fuck was that old man?